Turono Talks,
Yeah.
episode Trey.
Trois.
Three.
Trifecta.
3 eyes.
Tree.
We got some guests this week too, man.
We do. So let's pass it around like a spliff and everybody introduce themselves.
Left
We'll start. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. DJ D's Nuts, Dustin, Wareham, Mr. 80's favorite babies as usual. You know what it is. Who's next?
I guess it's going this way.
Yay.
SepTo.ca. That's about it.
That's
I got
it.
no taglines.
That's all right.
That's all right.
That's like the best AKA that could ever exist.
Wave to the people.
Yeah. My name is Alex Heward. I got a little side project called the Alex Heward Project. So
Okay.
there you go. Alex Heward Project.
All right.
Yeah, Mike Stoan. You already know. If you don't know, you don't know.
And
It's episode 3, Mike. You giving the...
That's it.
Come
man.
on.
You can Google me, man. Just Google me.
You know from the
just Google it.
Yeah.
Mike Stoan, and that's Stone.
Oh yeah. It's all good. I don't even care at this point no more.
Yeah.
And it's your man Maloney Sandwich in the place to be.
Yeah.
Maloney. MLNY, Breaking Records Radio. Shout that out. No Condom Podcast. Poking holes in condoms since '89. And that's that.
Man, how'd you come up with the No Condoms podcast idea or name? Like, what's
That
up
was
with
just like, well, I kind of explained in the one show we were talking, but like the
Yeah.
podcast was more, in my opinion, when we started, I was like, sick. I get like, we could talk about
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Stuff. Not
Anything.
like nothing.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, dope. But Eddie's like a jokester like me. Like everything's a joke.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's like that in that sense. So like, yeah, just naturally. And he's not interested in politics, any shit like that. So it just like very quickly became like just guy talk and
Okay.
hip hop talk, basically. And mostly guy talk and just basic bear sarcasm.
Bullshit.
And so we were thinking like no chill zone after we did a couple pilots just to see like the chemistry and stuff. And someone else already had that domain name.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right. And then we went to the drawing boards for like 3 days. I probably hit him with like 35 names. He probably hit me with like 10. And then on the third day, I'm like, the No Condom Podcast. He's like, yo.
You guys can't go raw dogs.
No.
You guys are a Me Too movement waiting to happen.
And it's funny you say that because that's actually one of the topics of our discussion. So we
yeah.
could just jump right into this. Enough talking
That's the
about raw
segue?
dog. That's a perfect segue right there.
I guess it doesn't
So,
get anything better than that.
What's her name?
Asia Argentino.
Yeah, you got that. So she was accused of what? Having raping a 16-year-old boy?
Not raping.
Well,
come on, you can't. It's not rape.
No,
Don't
you know
just-
what? You know what? Though?
Statutory.
I put it in the group chat. And I didn't
Yeah.
read it yet.
So
that's where we're at right now.
No,
I saw it, but I never really read it. I saw
All right,
it
so
online.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, whatever.
Dustin knows the facts of the knowledge.
I don't really know the facts too much. I think it's definitely interesting that she's the leader of the Me Too movement, so to speak, or the face of it, and that she's kind of caught up in something like this in herself. Apparently, he was like 17 and she thought he was
Yeah.
21. And
Oh,
you
so
know,
like
you
a
guys didn't know the
Tekashi
math on
situation.
that.
yeah, exactly, right?
Okay.
But I mean, I don't necessarily think that's rape. That's statutory rape, if you really want to say it. But he's 17, you know, like, is what it is. You know what I mean? But it's just interesting that it happened, you know, because
Who came forward with that? Did he come forward with
I
that?
think so.
Probably
Apparently,
saw the money.
from what I read, yeah, the money, right? Apparently, Anthony Bourdain like paid out $380,000 to the kid or something, or to the kid's family. So maybe he bragged about it, or his family found out, and they're like, "Hey, you know, let's see if we can get some money out of this or
cash it.
something, right?"
Yeah.
You know, but it's definitely interesting. It's definitely, you know what I mean? Like, it adds a little twist to the whole conversation, and you know what I mean? If people want to add their their 2 cents to the conversation, they could definitely
Yeah.
throw that in.
It's
or whatever,
definitely
right?
clickbait worthy head titles.
I like that. I like that a
100%.
lot. Clickbait worthy
It's kind of
titles.
like when it comes to statutory rape or pedophilia, it's like there's a double standard. If
I
a
was
woman-
going to bring
yeah,
that up.
If a woman does something,
Yeah.
how it's treated, and even how we treat, like
Yeah.
we see all these teachers,
Right,
women
right,
teachers
right.
having affairs with their students.
Yeah.
And
Right,
all of us
right.
were like, oh, damn, I wish
Right.
I was in that situation.
Yeah, right,
We're
right.
not looking at it as pedophilia. We're
Yeah,
not looking at it
no,
as
no.
an issue. But
No.
women now, they say different.
You know
Yeah.
what? It's an interesting thing, you know? Like, it's an interesting thing to think, like, you know, if you're a guy and you're a particular age, you know, like you said, 17, is there a difference between a 17-year-old guy and a 17-year-old girl? Like, what do you guys think? You know, like,
No, that's the
mature-wise or when
same
it comes
thing.
to sexual relationships.
It's
Like,
the same thing.
okay, I feel you.
Number's a number, but
What do you
Like,
guys,
would you call a 17-year-old boy boy fucked up for fucking a 17-year-old girl? Like, nah, it's the same thing.
I like how we are deciding that we're the experts on pedophilia.
we don't know anything.
No, I don't think that.
We
That's
don't
not.
know-
That's
we
not
don't know
pedophilia,
anything.
though.
It's just more of an opinion.
That's not. No,
It's
no,
more
no,
just
like,
a fact of
We're just
opinion.
breaking down the
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
I had a huge debate about that.
Y'all
the other
just
day.
you stepped into this conversation confidently.
Right.
Forget politics. Forget the hashtag Me Too movement or getting
Yeah.
people offended.
Just
the
right
fact that
in.
the subject matter, you didn't feel like I didn't even hear a thought. Like there wasn't a break. Like, all right, let's think about this for a sec. It was just like, nah, I already have my opinions on pedophilia and
I don't
statutory
actually
rape.
have one, honestly.
No,
like,
we're
I had
kind
a
of
big
getting to the
debate on
bottom
this,
of it.
like
Yeah.
last week. A big debate about
But
it.
you know what? With that being
Huge
said, there's
debate.
another line of debate because
Hold on, let's see what Mike is saying.
All right,
No,
yeah,
no,
so-
no,
so-
no,
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 no, no,
go
keep
ahead,
going, keep
I'm just
going.
saying we had a huge debate about this on my page last week, where a teacher caught again with a student,
Yeah.
and how we treat it, and
Like a male student.
or the
versus a female
Takashi, say
student?
with the Takashi situation,
Right.
Yeah.
where he would technically
Yeah.
no penetration, whatever,
Yeah.
but because he uploaded the video to to internet, and the fact that he was in the room when this girl was doing all this stuff, it makes him seem like a rape person,
Right.
which
right,
he didn't
right.
do anything.
Right.
But then when you get
Word.
charged, you get charged what they want to charge you for.
For sure.
So that affects how people perceive you.
For sure.
So
for
it's
sure.
kind of like it's.
But
like
these
you said with
teachers
the
did
woman,
sleep with the boys, though.
Yeah.
21, 17. You know, is there
Yeah.
a gray
To me-
area? Or is there 100%?
To me personally, it's like
away.
looking back, I just look at it like when I was young. When I was in high school, I knew fucking like dudes who were 25 like dating girls that were like 17 and shit. That shit was like weird as shit, but you're like whatever. Like, and then you get older and you're like, oh, that's
Kinda
pedophilia.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So there's lines to it. Like,
Yeah.
but you know, I don't know.
But then,
I don't
you know, like a year later, she's 18 and she's legal, you know, so it's
yeah.
it's a little
But then
weird.
where do you draw that line? It's like R. Kelly, didn't he like
Oh yeah. Oh, Lord.
start dating Aaliyah when she was 15?
We're gonna go to R. Kelly now. Wow. No, I feel you. R. Kelly is definitely like.
So like where's that level stay? You know what I mean? Like what's the defining level of not being legal and being legal and still being
Shit,
more
what up, Kelly?
morally
What up,
okay
homie?
and not?
So the problem is that the line is in mentality. Right?
Word.
So it's
Yes.
extremely easy for someone who's 25, 30 years old to can we swear here?
Yeah,
Oh, fuck
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, go ahead,
So,
man.
to mind fuck a little girl.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And make her think you're the greatest thing in the world. So it's almost like easy pickings.
Yeah.
Which is,
Which I agree. That's like yeah.
right? So in that situation, everyone looks at that person like, okay, you're obviously a
You know
waste man.
better.
Like you,
Yeah.
you can't get your own age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like everyone's trying to create whatever rules or laws or regulation to X that out. You're taking advantage of this girl because it has nothing to do with how they look.
Yeah.
Some of them might look 25.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of them might act 25, make the money a 25-year-old makes.
Yep.
So we're trying to find all these ways to create some sort of legality
Around something
that.
that's
Right.
And we can't
that's-
really define it
I was
because
just-
it's
yeah.
about mentality.
Yeah.
Right? And
Word up.
the same thing is probably happening to people in the same age range when you're able this girl's stupid. Right?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
this guy's
Right.
stupid. Now I can just mind fuck. I could just
Yeah.
take advantage of
Just
that.
take advantage of yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
But my argument, though, or my question is a man or a boy at 17 on the verge of manhood more sexually mature than a woman, let's say, at 17? You know,
They
because
actually
those
say
sen-
women are more mature earlier.
Well, that's as far as dealing with life. Now, when I'm talking about dealing with sexuality, a woman doesn't come into her like actual sexual peak until she's, let's say, 30, whereas opposed men, it's 18 for us.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
You see
Like
what
the
I'm
cougar
saying?
theory.
Not necessarily the cougar theory, just when you are actually supposed to be most actually procreative
Yeah.
in life. As a man is supposed to be when you're pretty much a teenager,
Yeah.
early 20s, versus a woman.
So
it's
the
pretty
sex
much
drives
30s
are
to
two
peak.
different ranges.
Yes.
So that's
for the
why
most
Demi
part,
Moore
right?
and Ashton Kutcher dated.
Maybe.
I was kind of mad at that. Or Mariah and Nick Cannon. I was kind of mad at that.
What you wanted to be? You wanted to be Nick?
Oh, pause.
matter what celebrity you want, we're never gonna get
Why?
it
Because
like
I went to
that.
Wild 'N Out the other night.
No, you want to be Nick? I would have loved to have been married to Mariah Carey.
Oh,
You know,
I thought you said
like-
Nick as in Nick Cannon. I'm like, damn, this dude's just trolling my ass right
No,
now.
I'm saying like you
Holy
wanted
shit.
to, you're jealous or saying you're upset
No,
at
I got
Mariah.
you now.
You know, you would have loved to have been Nick Cannon in that scenario. I mean, I would have. I grew
Yeah.
up with a huge crush on Mariah Carey.
You know what?
Like, I still look at Mariah Carey now and be like, yeah, she's still a dime piece as
Man.
messed up as she is to me. She's still gonna
Man.
be like
Yeah.
Mariah. You know what I mean?
Sometimes like mental instability is sexy.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. It can go a long way in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And yeah, but back to the conversation.
Look at the
But see, that's what I'm saying. That's
Paints
what I'm
him in
saying.
the corner, you know.
Think about it.
SepTo just dropped
We
the
were-
hardest knowledge
we were
on us
probably
on this
so young.
subject and like just like
We were
we're
probably
just
so
like,
young
wow,
when we had
where do
crushes
go?
on Mariah, whoever,
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez.
Right, and if one of them would have approached us
that's
at
pedophilia.
17, we would have been.
Fuck yeah.
But it's like them like engaging with us.
Yeah.
But now if we're attracted to older women
Right.
and vice versa, a lot of younger women are attracted to older guys.
Right.
Now what happens in between? You wait until that age of consent thing. I'm not saying you don't cross that line or not, but some people they pick and choose to take advantage of the situation at the time.
I feel
Word.
you. I feel you.
Some
I
will wait till they're
absolutely feel you.
18, and some will be like, "Yo, I can deal with it."
And I
Which
ain't
is
justifying anything, but
I'm
I
not. I'm
absolutely
just saying
think-
what people do.
Yeah.
So,
I
like,
don't agree with it.
I think
it is what it
SepTo
is.
like really put it the best that we could even say it. But before we leave it, does anyone have an opinion on what they think a line age of consent should be?
There's no should be there.
I agree. I agree with everything
If I'm
you said,
50
but
and you're 25,
Oh, you're that's what
I
past age of
still
consent.
have an advantage over you, man.
no, yeah. But what about
Okay.
if you're 20 and you're 17?
Just obey the law, dog.
No, actually,
'Cause
you're not
otherwise
breaking,
you're
you're
gonna
not
say
breaking the
It's,
law.
just, it's wrong.
Just obey
I think
the law.
ultimately
Yeah.
it's wrong. It's
Yeah.
That's a
No.
gray area. Then obey
20
the law.
and
It's
17,
the-
you're not
yeah.
breaking the law. The
Like,
age of
you know what I mean? The
consent.
dudes you knew in high school, did
Yeah.
you look back at them like that fucking pedophile? Like, I know
But
I
that's
don't.
the thing, right? In certain countries, they're trying to even lower the age
Yeah,
of
the
consent.
Well, I heard they're actually
Yeah.
tare trying to do that here.
Yeah.
Well, not
Like, there's
here.
talks
So
actually,
now,
in the
are they
UK,
wrong for trying to lower
Really?
it?
In the
Like,
UK, some
I don't know.
politician was like, "Hey, let's
It's
lower it."
it's
to
really up in
10,
the air.
which is absolutely ridiculous.
That's
But in
crazy.
Canada, I believe the
Yeah.
age of consent is 16.
Yeah, which is already, I think
So-
that's the lowest it should
Yeah,
ever
that makes
be.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
And even still, I'm like more like, I think like almost 17, you know what I
But
mean?
if they chose to make it lower, would anybody fight against it? I know
Yeah.
some might.
No, people
but
will
I'm just
fight
saying,
against
like,
shit.
We don't know.
Well, I mean, if you were to go by, I mean, I remember watching Malcolm X, and what was it? Elijah Muhammad said half your age plus 7 or something
Yeah.
like that, or half your
Word.
age plus 11 or something. It was like some number like that, you know. So
You're
Malcolm's
trying to
right.
moralize it.
There was like,
But
you know,
then, how much lower does it go based on half your age plus something?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That-
at 25 that would be 18. At 40 that would be 27.
so
you
at
know?
a lower age would be something else,
Yeah,
right?
I feel you.
Word.
I feel
It's
you.
weird, man. It's just weird. It's just
No,
weird.
it's definitely weird. And you know what? Again, it's
a
weird
weird
that
space.
that the face of the Me Too movement again is kind of caught up in this situation. Let's see what happens with it. You know, but again, if it was reversed, it definitely would be a worse situation.
Yeah, it would be
so
worse.
this could be looked at as society being hypocritical.
Yeah.
Well, it's just everybody going after everybody now.
Yeah.
That's what it is now.
Yeah.
Like it's 21 and 17, sure. Both ages, I think you haven't
Oh no,
went
she's
through
not
life.
21. She was like 34 or something. She's
Oh,
like,
at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, when
yeah,
that's
yeah.
happened.
Yeah, this happened like not too long ago.
Oh,
Like the kid was
okay.
17. She was
I
like
thought
in
you
her
said she
30s.
was 20. This was
So,
when she was 21.
when
and
you
he was
No,
said
I
age
think
of
someone
consent
just
in her
threw that
place.
number out, but I'm
yeah.
pretty sure she's well
Okay,
into
well,
her 30s and he's like
so,
17.
So again, so ultimately it comes down to just it being wrong because as society we've built this barrier. We've
Yeah.
put these
Yeah.
laws and these rules in place, and even with the way that everything goes, we just get easier on society. We kind of just start going easier on certain
Yeah.
places, right?
Yeah.
These things come up, and then next you know we sort of give a little bit.
Yeah.
We kind of
Yeah.
give a little bit. Look who's president of the United States. We gave a little bit, right? I mean, I hate to use the word.
on that one.
I hate to use the word witch hunt because he uses it all the time.
Yeah.
But now that's all this Me Too movement has turned into is let's see who are we gonna get now? Like
Yeah.
people are going back
Cosby.
like the tweets. Yeah, and,
Oh,
and
yeah,
look,
that's
and there's
messed up.
people that have done things wrong
Yeah.
and should absolutely be.
Okay, well, speaking about going on
you
the
know,
tweets.
That's
I know
the
down
thing.
the
guys
line I
see-
might be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
For sure, all of us have
And
been
I
in a lot of
don't- and I-
trouble if
and
we
I
go
don't
through our
care.
tweets from
I
back
don't
in the
care.
day. you know, we'll all be in fucking deep shit.
Yeah.
But have you guys been up to snuff with the whole James Gunn, the director from Guardians of the Galaxy scenario?
Not yet.
Somewhat? Okay, so what do you think of that situation? Because you said someone went back on the tweets and exposed him kind of, you know, talking
What was it
about
that he
pedophilia.
said?
He
Was
made
it
a
a
joke. He made a joke about pedophilia, but then somebody I actually saw last week that they had pictures where he had a pedophile or a To Catch a Predator theme style.
Wow.
So there's literally pictures of like guys and then like the little girls being like Doritos or whatever, and then you know they were pretending to throw To Catch a fucking Predator.
Wow.
Or whatever, right?
You know,
Stop party.
go ahead.
That's weird to me. That's creepy as shit. I love
So
Guardians of the Galaxy.
here's the question. Forget how you feel about it. Should he be fired?
That's on his management. That's on his agent. That's on, and that's even when it comes down to these sports. Like there's been baseball players lately that have been busted for old tweets and that have been, you know, and that comes down. Sure, you shouldn't have said it. Sure, but that comes down to the agent. That comes down to the person who should be looking after you.
Yeah.
Okay, you're about to make it big. Wipe your account. Clear everything. I don't care if you have this world's greatest tweet. Tweet it again, but get rid of everything and go forward. Because if you're not that person anymore, don't let there be any representation of that being you online.
No, absolutely.
And if it comes up now, you got a lot of apologizing and a lot of, hey, look, I'm a good person to do, because
I've changed and shit.
Yeah, up until that point, people think you're a great person and you're a great team player, you're great in the locker room, this and that, and then this comes out, and all of a sudden you've got to try and
save your life.
You got to save your life for the people that aren't in the locker room with you.
It's all a game. It's all a game.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I wrote something on my website a while, like years ago, about when Subway got caught using that ingredient that keeps the bread longer.
The stuff that's
Oh, yeah.
So essentially the
stuff
bread
that's in
won't
Yoga
rot
Mats.
as quickly, right?
Yeah.
And they got piled on in the media. They had to change it up and now say we don't use that ingredient anymore.
Right.
But like McDonald's, Harvey's, Wendy's, the fucking bread you buy in the grocery store,
It's all still there.
there's a lot of these companies that still have that ingredient, right? So what's happening is we're just sort of stepping out the way when someone gets in trouble. And I kind of relate that to celebrities in general, right? So we're going to publicly excommunicate a man or get a man fired or whatever the case. And it might be the right thing to do, it might be the wrong thing to do. But we do that, and everyone in the industry already knows everyone else that's saying and doing these things.
So
But since it's not out, they're good.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And there's something about that it kind of, I'm disenfranchised in creating an opinion on anyone that I don't know at that point.
Yeah.
Word.
Right? Because all we need to hear is the news story about, you know, Kevin Hart tomorrow and the freaky shit he's doing or whatever, and then suddenly we hate him. But the whole time Denzel Washington's been doing the same shit at the parties, and you don't know about that one. So it's like we have to pick and choose, and we get mad at based on the information that leaks.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I feel like, you know what I mean? If anything,
Everything
they're
is what
probably
you
all
know.
fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everything is what you know.
So it's like, I can't just sit here consistently changing my opinion on the roller coaster ride of opinions on celebrities.
The thing is that
You know what I
you
mean?
need to have your own opinions on what you believe in.
Yeah.
And if
That's
whatever the situation is with that person, you draw the line based on your own belief.
That's it.
You even if they did something that's against your beliefs, doesn't mean you have to hate them.
And it's up to you to for how far you take it. Like with
Yeah.
these movements, you know, it's up to you to depend on how you are you that pissed off that you want to get 1 million people that are just as pissed off as you to march down the street towards it. Totally, it's totally on you to.
Yeah.
You go to work. Wake up and continue your life. The man didn't, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like the worst people in the world aren't impacting, like, until you are impacting people on a real level, instead of, I don't know, entertaining their children and making them laugh with funny movies or something.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's a lot of things we need to be focused on right now. You know what I mean?
Word up.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Absolutely. We definitely live in like an era where scandals kind of run the news. You know, we live in a 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah,
You know what I
we
mean?
were
And
like
the
that
easiest
before.
thing to move news is scandals.
Yeah.
You know, it keeps people engaged. People want to express their opinions. They want to voice their opinions. So, you know, because we're in this consistent, constant era of just being bombarded with news,
Just
bombarded
nonsense,
with videos.
distractions, constant distractions.
absolutely,
You know what I mean? It goes back to our conversation last week when we were talking about bread and circuses. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, except now we all pay for our entertainment. It's not provided by the state or whatever it may be. But either way, with that entertainment, we even get bored of ourselves. You know what I mean? We get bored of the entertainment that's entertaining us. So then we look for the most extreme shit, and that's why clickbait exists. That's why all this shit exists. That's why the fucking deep web exists. That's the dark web, whatever they call it. All this shit, all this shit exists out of literally pure boredom of the human being. Depression, all this shit exists. If you're living out on the fucking land we once were, and fucking hunting fish and fucking tipping over cows to eat them, and trying to catch a chicken and fucking, you know what I mean? You don't have time to sit around and fucking worry about nothing. Like, you're worried about yourself. That's it. You know what I mean? And then the more convenient you make life for human beings, the more they find ways to be fucking retarded.
Well, the problem is instead of less time to do things where your body is getting tired and you've got chores and things to do, we have less chores to do, so we have more time to think. But instead of using our time to think constructively, we're actually thinking deconstructively.
Well, a lot of us just aren't thinking is the problem.
Absolutely.
Entertainment.
We're not
you know what I mean?
That's why we jump at the first headline we see.
Absolutely.
And people freak out. And then you realize what was said. Like the Kanye thing.
Yeah.
All he said was, it sounds like. He didn't say it is.
Those are the key words that
and
people
lost
really
their
leave
shit
out of the
because
conversation.
he said this.
Kanye.
And that's all they needed.
All right, so
Shitstorm.
what about this headline? Nicki Minaj saying that she's the
Oh,
new
man.
Harriet Tubman.
Did you hear her on Queen Radio defending that?
I'm not even taking that
Oh
seriously.
my God, yo! I'm telling you,
How do you defend that? There's no defense
you're
for
gonna
that.
get
What do you say to
cheesed.
that?
She's giving Queen Awards on a show, and
so
she's
how many people
second
she free?
Queen Award. Go it's
Queen of
just
what?
oh man.
But how
yo.
many people did she free?
Right?
She's still got them in a type of mental slavery with what she's doing.
It's
So to
crazy,
understand her
man.
thing about Harriet Tubman.
Oh,
It's disgraceful.
It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
that's mad disgraceful.
And she did that with Malcolm X too.
Yeah. But you know what? Rappers have done that. You know what I mean? Like, how many rappers have declared themselves Malcolm X? And, because maybe it was a male, we might not. Again, same situation when it comes to sex. So I'm starting to think there's maybe a little bit of a discrepancy.
They're
for
reaching.
how
That's
we
all they're doing.
treat
They're
certain
reaching
women.
because certain people on a certain platform.
They are, but what
yeah.
I'm saying is, when when KRS is at a window with a Uzi
But that's
depicting the picture
different, man.
of
That's like a
Malcolm X.
homage,
Because,
though. You know what
that's
I
a
mean?
homage, and plus, when you listen to his album, what is he talking about?
He's talking about it,
Nicki's
yeah.
saying it. Listen to her album. What
By
is
any
she
means
talking
necessary.
about? She's
This-
talking a
the
bunch of
album
idiots.
title itself.
Like some weird ass.
There's a direction with that.
That's the only problem. So
Yeah.
it's not the person's name. It's what are your actions are reflecting who you're referencing.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
know what I mean? It's not. So whatever.
It was dumb. Don't get me twisted.
Yeah.
That was dumb as fuck
I had
for
to
her
think twice
make
too,
that
but then I
reference.
looked at it. I was like, I'm not gonna pay this no attention.
Yeah. There is no real defense for
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? To call yourself the new
But
Harriet
then
Tubman.
the whole thing is, we don't need to get offended by it either.
That's true.
All we gotta do is okay, she's talking shit.
Just let her
Keep it
talk
moving.
that. Let her
Shut
talk
up.
that
Yeah, 'cause
smack.
she's talking a
and-
lot of shit right now,
a lot of shit.
and it's not helping. her
None
album
of you, neither
sales.
you listen to that Queen Radio shit.
Yeah.
No,
Oh
I'm not
man,
trying to listen.
yo,
to
it's literally
you.
like Kanye West on the worst rant of his life,
Yeah.
but going for a whole fucking radio show, and it's
Get
Nicki
on my
Minaj's voice.
yeah.
Legit, that's what
Yeah.
the whole thing is. It's just her. Oh my man. But at the same time, the sick part is that I didn't turn it off after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I kept listening.
I might check it out.
Yeah.
I might check it out. I don't know.
Advertisement.
I might check it out. I've been hearing about it, but I'm like,
That's all he needed to hear.
Right.
Zelia Banks had her own show too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whatever.
No, but let's touch back on what Maloney said. He said he had to check it out or he had
Yeah.
to keep watching. That's the thing. As much as we
Yep.
talk shit about all this stuff
Yeah.
going on in
We're
society,
absorbed.
we still want to see where the train wreck goes. We still want to see the car crash. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
oh yeah, oh
that's
And I
where our
check out a lot of
mentality is
alt-right
at, right?
videos all the time. I don't
Yeah.
need to watch alt-right videos, but I want to see where they're coming from. I want to understand. Okay, this is how you feel. This is what
Know your
and a lot of
enemy.
people say I'm not even racist, and they sit down and have conversations with black people
Yeah.
about certain things. I'm like, okay,
Are you
you're
gonna
not really
retire?
racist, but you would rather
Are you gonna be
That's
the
cool.
new guy that
Everyone has a
retires the
preference.
robes?
What's that?
You gonna be that new guy who retires the robes?
Oh no, I'm not gonna go that far.
What's his name, man? He's an R&B singer. What's his name? Because he's out there retiring clan robes, man.
Oh,
That's some brave ass
And
work.
they do it, and the same guy with the what's the movie called? The Black Klansman. I still want to watch that.
Yeah, I was gonna go see that last Saturday, actually.
That's
I wanna see
crazy.
that. That looks.
But we've
But
seen
I'm not gonna go
Equalizer
that far.
2
I'm not trying
instead.
to convert people's mindset. If they want to think a certain way, that's on
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, no doubt. I definitely want to see
can't-
Black Klansman.
yeah.
You can't convert somebody, but speaking
You
of
can,
movies,
you can talk to them and have conversations with
yeah,
them.
no doubt.
Well,
That
what
was,
you
like,
can
interesting
do
to
is have conversation,
Yeah.
exactly what the show's about. You can have progressive conversation, talking about things, different opinions and perspectives, and maybe collectively come to an agreement that was better than the last.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's
no
what it's
doubt.
all about, right? At the end of the day.
That's not gonna happen, man. It
Hey,
doesn't happen. Here's the thing: we can influence people. We can have conversations. People can cross the line to your side, to their side. Today, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, era of outrage. At this point, as long as you can find 5,000 other people who agree with you, then you're stuck in your ways.
Yeah,
this
Yeah,
is
I
true.
agree, yeah.
There's not going to be any more transitioning or conversion until we all decide that this social media shit is bad for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that when I go to things that have opposing views, I start to understand where they're coming from. I may not agree, but I say,
I understand
Yeah.
at least what they're trying to get at.
yeah.
I don't
because
think
it comes from someone.
Absolutely.
It's not just I'm offended because even the slut walk thing.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Amber
Amber
Rose.
Rose.
She said she wants to make misogynist men get angry because they're doing it. And I laughed. I go, that's not going to make us angry whatsoever. I'm not misogynist.
I like how you
But
said
what
we.
I'm saying is, men, if you want to change it, misogynist men,
right.
that's not going to happen through doing that. And definitely not, the regular man is not going to be like, oh, you're doing a slut walk. I'm going to change the way I think about sluts. You're not even doing a good representation of sluts if that's what you're trying to do.
No, I feel you. It
is what it is. Like, men are
Basically-
sluts too.
That being
So
said,
men
what's
are
your-
sluts too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yo,
men are
definitely.
sluts.
They do the
Are you
same
kidding me?
thing.
Here's another
They're
one of
the
those.
biggest sluts.
It will make the misogynist thing even bigger.
Word.
Man, they're the biggest.
But with
sluts
that
in the
being
world.
said, too, there's another, once again, like one of these things that's all opinion. What makes you a slut? What's the defining line of being a slut?
You know what? That's a good question. I think just like
And is that different for men and women?
I think shit again comes down to the double standards thing. You know what I mean? Like because society will label a woman a slut a lot faster than they label a man a slut. You know what I mean? They'll call a man a stud. They won't call him necessarily a slut, but they'll call a woman a slut just for pretty much for having a man and then maybe breaking up with him and going and seeing somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a sociological double standard. And again,
It's
I guess it just
exactly what
boils
it
down
is.
to the individual person. I'm sitting recording. I'm recording as well. It's kind of weird. You know
But what do you consider like now with that being said, because we're all looking at it with this very understanding knowledge, but like, so what's your limit? Like, do you have, like if you meet a girl and you like her and then you find out she was like an escort, were you still dating her? Still dating her?
You just get tested, man.
Think about that shit.
Because it's easy to have these ideologies, but I think all of us, even though we have these these super positive ideologies and very equal PC thoughts and ways, we all have a borderline where we cross something, right? It's like the age thing we're talking about. We all kind of have see a little differently, but it's all in the same range. Well, what makes you a slut and what doesn't? And let's just say men and women are both sluts for the equal amount of kills, all right? Now, what makes you a slut and what doesn't? You know what I mean? Like, can we even define that border?
I remember that one girl in that video. She's a virgin. She said she's a slut. But then she said all women are sluts. And then she said her mother is not a slut. So if your mother's not a slut and you're a virgin and all women are sluts, what doesn't make your mother a slut? She didn't think about that one. And I see people praising her and all types of
Holy
shit.
shit.
And
Crazy
she's
double logic.
and like that doesn't make any damn sense.
You guys need to stop trying
Nothing
to
makes any
rationalize.
fucking
I
damn
know.
sense
And
I'm
that's
just
the
saying
thing,
what
you
you're
can't-
saying.
There is no.
There's no definitions. There's no
there's
equation.
nothing. It's
No,
an individual thing.
it's
Yeah.
all fucking.
Perception or whatever you want to call
All
it.
it really is just distraction.
Yeah.
That's all it is. No one thinks about anything that matters if you're too busy fighting over something that doesn't.
Yeah.
That's why Jay-Z, you know what I mean? A wise man told me don't argue with fools, people from a distance. You know the line. And that's exactly it. It's like you get people to argue over the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
And then people never come to any agreement to talk about anything that fucking matters.
Yeah.
Because they're
But
too
what actually
busy arguing
matters,
over
everyone,
something.
Everyone has a variance of what matters to them,
That's true.
right? So
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what matters to you doesn't mean it matters.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Anybody.
People
yeah.
need to realize that, like,
Yeah.
just because you now have a voice, because of your fucking Facebook or whatever, doesn't mean you matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that your opinion is now equal.
Yeah.
Like to be perfectly honest,
Yeah.
Yeah.
people have a subjective view on life. We all do.
Yeah.
Yep.
We all have a subjectivity to us, but there's still an objective truth.
Yeah.
Right? And just because you think something is, just because you're hung up on something,
Right.
a word,
Yeah.
right, or an action, or a movement, or a hashtag, doesn't mean anything you're doing matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we need to get out of this grandiose self-entitlement nonsense, which again comes from everyone having an account, right?
Yeah.
It's like podcasts,
Yeah.
right? Like I was just talking to my wife because we started a podcast a while back and we were thinking about starting it back up again, and I was like, everyone has a podcast,
Yeah. And it's
right?
gonna
Yeah.
continue like that.
So now
Yeah.
it's like, do we jump back in? Right? It's why I don't rap.
Yeah.
Why I haven't rapped in
And
3
that's
years.
funny because actually coming off of this, I was going to jump in to start asking you a few things.
Yeah.
And Chris Jackson said it as well. Shout outs to him. He's watching live while he's filming us. But he wants to know why you stopped rapping.
Yeah, one sentence, right?
Segue.
One
Right
sentence.
into it.
If I could simplify it, because it's not simple, right? I would just say when something feels like it matters, I'll do it. And when it doesn't feel like it matters, then I won't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we put a lot of effort and energy and love and passion and time and all sorts of sacrifice into whatever we choose to do, right?
Right.
Yep.
So if I come to the conclusion, for whatever reasons, that it's not going to matter if I do it again, then I just won't put my energy into it. You know what I mean? That's really all it is. So it's not one reason, but to segue off of what we were talking about, I could definitely say a strong reason is if you don't get my album next week, you got 300,000 others to choose from. And
Yeah.
Right,
the
right,
next
right.
week, you'll have 300,000
Exactly.
more, right? We're
Yep.
in an era of overconsumption, right? Where
Got you.
it just doesn't matter to me. So now I'd rather have a movie and a film festival as opposed
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
another rap album from another fucking rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
No, I
It just-
feel you.
It just looks tired to me. And
So tell us
it doesn't
about-
feel tired. It looks tired.
Yeah.
Word.
Right.
Right? Like, when I look at other rappers, it just looks tired to me. It
Word.
doesn't look
Look
beneficial. It doesn't look impactful.
Yeah.
So it's just, if I don't care about who's coming next, then why
Why are
should
you
I
going
assume-
to try to be next?
Yeah. You know?
Word.
So do you feel like it just got oversaturated and
Saturation
talent's
is-
not
is a word we use a lot
Yeah.
in film. Saturation.
Yeah.
okay?
Oversaturation. Not saying it's dead or anything, but in this social media era, as much as I don't want to hear everybody's opinions, I don't want to hear everybody's song anymore.
Yeah.
Got you.
So, I just don't want to contribute to something I don't like.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. No, that definitely makes a lot of sense. It's like, the saturation means the bar has been lowered as opposed to raised. Anybody and their mom could do it, like you said. So everybody's got an opinion, and then where are the opinions that matter? What holds weight? You know what I mean? Like things aren't holding weight as well as they should have. But what's the you said you got into movies. So what's the transition like going from acting, moving into that? Do you feel like that's an industry that you're more passionate about? Is that pretty much where your passion is at the moment?
I have no passion for acting.
Okay.
However, I remember I approached Alex, who was shooting all my music videos for this era. And I said, listen, we were already off the rapper shit, like even when we were doing it. Because if you look at the last couple years of music videos, let's say the last year, they were all uber creative. They were all, so maybe you won't even see me in it because we just didn't want to make rapper videos, And,
Conceptual.
Yeah, they're much more conceptual.
Yeah.
And then, we just decided, you know what? Let's not shoot any videos for this last album. Let's just do sort of a behind-the-scenes documentary style, the making of. And what ended up happening was he ended up, following me every day, family life, personal stuff, business, whatever. And instead of catching a behind the scenes of the promotion of an album, it ended up capturing sort of a decline in inspiration until a point of, I'm done.
Okay.
You know?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what the actual documentary.
Holy
ended up
shit.
being.
Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But you should still see it.
Yeah.
Even though you know what it's about.
I think
Yeah.
people should know. Like,
No,
artist-wise,
the film itself. That is the synopsis, right? So it's
Yeah.
like what you want to do. The reason you want to watch it is it really drives home the point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you
So
started
guys
from
might
the
ask
complete
why.
Yeah.
The
100
film, really drives
degrees
the point home.
different side
Yeah.
is why you started it, and you came to
Yeah.
the complete opposite conclusion by the end.
Yeah, and the point is so universal, right? Because we meet with a lot of people in the film, a lot of Toronto hip hop royalty, we'll say, and you kind of get everybody's opinions on the matter, and it's a very universal theme. This idea that it's not like this one guy who doesn't want to rap no more.
Yeah, it's a slew of
Like,
them.
there was a clip that we were using. We didn't use this part in the film, but there's a clip where Mos Def is talking about, they're asking him why he's not making music.
Yeah.
And I think he brought up Andre 3000, and he just brought up people like, why does no one want to contribute to this climate? There's something wrong.
Yeah.
Right? So this is a very universal theme
Yeah.
that I think
Wow.
a lot of people are feeling. You know?
Okay. Kind of like, guys coming to the end of the road, but it's not necessarily they feel as though it's their time. It's they feel as though
It's the climate.
the,
It's the
exactly
environment.
the climate, the environment is just not
Want to move
suitable.
on to other things.
Right,
Got
right,
families,
right.
etc.
You want to make an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Everyone wants to make an impact, and that's why it's bothersome when you are an MC and you do you do appreciate your craft. When it's exactly like you said, it's oversaturated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only the people that really fuck with you, and that's it. Like
Yeah.
you ain't getting. You know what I mean? Like people ain't even taking the time out to check your shit.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. Upgrade to the celebrities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine.
We don't give a
That's
shit
another-
about your
that's
album
another
a week
level.
later anymore.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Real
right.
shit.
So it's not even about making it, not making it. It's
Yeah.
like how many people are still talking about Logic's last album,
No.
Yeah.
right? How many people, like Nas just dropped, we're like, yeah, it was cool,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's true.
And
We
that's
won't forget
not-
about it.
And now we're like, oh, where's that new Nas album?
Yeah.
But with all
Yeah.
due respect, 44.4 was dope. Like that shit.
Yeah, it was dope. It
That
was
shit
dope.
resonated. That had some lifespan to it. Like I can still
Yeah.
listen to it, and I'm not sick of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
But we're talking
like
about
you're saying,
not a global impact, but
but for the
an
majority,
impact,
I agree
yeah,
with you
in
100
general,
complete.
right?
Yeah, it's very rare that even an artist that we appreciate growing up or loved, you know what I mean, these days drops an album that we even think is like, eh.
Yeah.
We almost like the fan in us
Yeah.
bigs it up more than it's worth. It's like, yeah, it was dope, even though we're sitting there, we're like, yeah, I know it was that.
But do you think it has anything to do with where you're at per se in your life? Because let's say when you're 17,
Everything's
the problems that you
experience.
have at 17 aren't the same, as you're gonna have when you're 34, when you have children, when you have mortgage, when you have bills to pay. So listening to a particular music where it's very driven towards you, like you said, environment, you know what I mean? And for the most part, hip hop, primarily pop rap, not hip hop culture, but pop rap has always been driven towards the youth. So, you know what I mean? Is it just that, are we not creating adult contemporary, lane? Who was it? It was SME Alongo or ES or whatever. Like his last album was really dope for that because he
Yeah.
kind of created this real adult hip hop album where we're
Yeah.
talking about adult topics and really put together in a way where it's like, okay, you can feel that this man's trying to make music for people his age and he doesn't feel
Yeah.
per se a part of, the current climate, you know what I mean? So that definitely makes sense. But I think a lot of it is that just a lot of guys, we're maturing, you know what I mean? We've reached a stage in our life where it's like, we don't necessarily want to wear the fashion trends that way.
Agree completely.
And
it's
we
why
wanna be
you
more
can't
adults,
really
right?
throw on Air Force Ones by Nelly right now and be like, this is hype. But you could throw on other joints from that same year though, and still have them resonate with you too, right? So there's the timelessness to certain. I think that's what really makes these conversations of who's the legends, who's not, who's the goats, like all this stuff. Is the resonation, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem in the climate we're in right now. It's exactly like we were talking about prior. Same thing DMC was sharing in his new little interview thing he was doing. Basically, when I interviewed him a year ago, he shared the exact same sentiment. We have an hour and a half long interview, and it's pretty much all about that. We hardly talk about Run DMC shit. We pretty much just talk about the current state of rap. And even things he said in that 10-minute thing, he He said in our interview,
Right.
yeah.
And it's crazy.
So,
He's doing
but-
that, but no one's really gonna care what DMC is saying.
It got a little buzz, but
Yeah.
not big.
But
But
people
like,
maybe in his age bracket, but the younger generation don't know who he is.
Oh,
don't
for sure.
care, Don't
For
know
sure.
who DMC is.
but the crazy thing is, like, you go and like fast forward 8 years, right?
yeah.
Who's gonna be going back listening to Gucci Gang? Maybe like a kid who was in like high school at the time and was like turning
Yeah,
up
a
to it,
12-year-old
just for a
or
little
something,
nostalgic
right?
value.
Yeah,
but
they're
even they're gonna
coming
look
up,
at it and be like, "This is whack."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, when we look back at the older generation, that's why I think like. I think that's why this dialogue exists too. Like, it's always old heads and young heads hating each other. I don't really think there needs to be hate, but there just needs to be understanding, right? Like, and it's almost like, I don't know. I don't understand where it's at right now. Everything's just so.
It's falling apart, and it's been falling apart since like.
It's because it's become the pop culture, but
people fool themselves. Say, "Oh, the '90s was this and that," but but there was a point where it's falling apart.
yeah.
Yeah, it did fall apart.
Yeah.
too.
We could talk about
That's
that forever and a day.
like-
though.
Yeah.
It's not an old young thing. Like, at the end of the day, I'm still bumping Astro World right now.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I think it's just
Perspective thing.
I think it's one thing if you're talking to one guy who has decided who's just pissed off because it didn't work out for him. You'd think of talking about people this has worked out for, you know, that are,
That's still become tired with it.
you know,
just
and
tired.
that's just it. I mean, and
Yeah.
you know, and it's like Sep says, you know, when you really love something and you have a purpose to do it, and you feel like what you're contributing is, you know, has purpose, then you're gonna do it. You know, when you're 17, doesn't matter. You don't really care. You're just trying to make a fire beat and get people at a show to bounce along with you, and maybe and then eventually, and then sure, there are some real, you know, mature and really in the zone 17-year-olds that are, you know, 16. I don't know why I'm stuck on that word, 17, but you know, teenagers that are, like teenagers that are,
Pause.
This
you
goes
know,
right back into the pedophile.
I'm not taking this back.
yeah, no, I'm
But-
just saying, like, I'm not even saying that.
Keep
like
going,
that.
keep going.
you know, but as a, you know, teenagers, you know, you just kind of looking to put that next fire thing out, but there are guys that are really mature that'll speak to an audience and kind of continue doing that because it's worked out for them, you know.
For sure. I think it boils down to just I absolutely understand, you know, because by far and large, we are all somewhat involved in this industry, artists, DJs, musicians. So it's artistic integrity. And as you age and as you create these things, you realize that your time, had worth. And this project that you created, you want it to be worth something. And like you said, you don't want people to forget about it a week from now. You want people to talk about it a year or two from now. You want people to be able to relate to it in particular points in their life and be able to say, okay, you know, that song meant this to me and I can associate it, you know, for the rest of my life because of, you know, a particular memory or whatnot. That's what, you know, the music that we grew up listening to or the music that we're going to have nostalgia over when we're 80 years old. It had that impact. You know, we're going to be 80 in wheelchairs saying Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. These nurses are going to be like, what the fuck you talking about? Who's Wu-Tang? But we're going to be rolling around doing that, throwing up the W's, right? So I completely get where you're coming from. It's artistic integrity. You want your art to have some type of weight, you know what I mean? And I think it's great that you're doing this and documenting.
It's like
this,
the
this
perspective
film.
no one talks about ever.
Yeah,
Everything in rap's looked at like it's like 20 times more glamorous than it is. And it's not cool to put off the real image. And that's what I think is really dope about this idea.
Absolutely.
That was the
absolutely.
original idea. Before it was a story about someone saying, fuck it. It was, let's show everyone, let's meet with the people who people think are glamorous.
Yeah.
And let's just show everyone what we really look like. Because all of this, it's all a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all a game. Like, this was never an attempt for a certain level of success or a standard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was always a matter of, okay, let's contribute because I'm in love. I'm in love with this environment. I like the cypher. I like the battle. I like this music. I like this party. I like this outside. I like this hip hop air.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when those things don't seem to be around anymore, you stop liking it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like, okay, let me make another album because I still got beats and I can still rhyme.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure I can make a catchy this, or let me take another shot at it. There was never a success margin that we were going for. It was always what feels right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not like SepTo doesn't exist no more. Like, I'm here. I want to talk. I want to be a representative of hip hop.
Yeah.
32-year-old hip hop in Toronto. I still want to, you know, make these films. I still want to write a book. Like, we're still contributing. You know what I mean? It's just, you want to contribute in all the ways that feel right. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what it's all about, the authenticity and feeling right.
Yeah.
I just want to say, you know what? Big ups to you for that. And if you could say that again, because I think too many people out there in this world associate hip hop with only rap and do not associate it with the things that you talked about, which is the community based aspect of the culture. So
rapping is a
please.
verb. You know what I mean? Hip hop is like if I never wrote a verse in my entire life, I would be hip hop.
Yeah.
Because of my
Yeah.
environment,
Thank you.
my family, my friends, the way I was raised, my moral stance, my perspective on life. Everything that I ever do will be hip hop. It has nothing to do with rapping.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. It's a culture.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
how you hold yourself, how you stand
know,
on the street.
I have made decisions in my life and sort of made certain things staples in my home with my sons and my wife, things, personality traits, everything. And I remember recently listening to, just going back to like stuff I grew up on, and I was listening to Gangstar Moment of Truth in the car,
Yeah.
and I hadn't listened to it in so long, like maybe 10 years.
Yep.
5 years, 10 years, whatever. And I'm listening to the lyrics, and even though I know them by heart as I'm hearing them, I haven't
They have a
acknowledged
new
them in a long
meaning.
time.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing, oh shit, these are all the opinions I have today,
Right.
Yeah.
right? All the things these people are saying on this album, I'm walking around thinking these are my self-made opinions.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing, oh shit, hip hop like raised me. It
Yeah.
formed my
absolutely.
opinion on life. The way I respond to hashtags
Yeah.
is in
hip-hop.
the vein of Guru.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is in the vein of Rakim. Is in the vein of Busta Rhymes. Like I am formed by it.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the ability to rap. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It
Yeah.
really doesn't at that point.
And firstly, Moment of
That's
Truth
beautiful.
is my personal favorite Gangstar album. But secondly, exactly
peace, Guru.
what you were saying about it is, I think that's the difference in between what makes great music and what just makes music. You know what I mean? Is the fact that you can go back 10, 20 years later and you're like, yo, I never, like, I know, like, exactly like you said, you're like, I know every word of the song, and I never even caught that this is what he was saying. And the words are so vague and simple sometimes, but it's just like, you're just not on that wavelength. You haven't had those thoughts. You haven't been in that process of life. And that's why I think there's certain music that's timeless, you know what I mean? And then there's other music that it just comes and goes, no matter how great it is, whatever your preference is, whatever your like is, right? And that's why I
Absolutely.
always say what makes a great artist is vulnerability, because there has to be some connection of humanity to connect you with the person. That's why I think Busta Rhymes doesn't get the respect he deserves. Why LL Cool J, even though he was vulnerable with the girl joints and stuff, he was never really personally vulnerable. You know what I mean? Like these guys don't get that like respect that they really deserve for the what they've done for the culture, what they put into the music. But I think it always comes to that line of vulnerability as being human to a degree. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not so much vulnerability as it is that person isn't afraid to be absolutely themselves.
Yeah.
The best rappers are always the ones who are themselves. They
Yeah.
don't follow trends. They're not afraid to be themselves. They're not afraid to speak their opinions. They're not afraid to lay it out on the line if they're vulnerable.
Yeah.
And what happens is you get a bunch of clones. And, you know, I think, honestly, personally, what I think is going to happen is I think you're going to have a great run with what you're doing. But I think you're going to see in a few years that hip hop, like we were saying earlier, is very cyclical.
Yep.
So what's going to happen is probably in about 3 years, maybe a little bit less, because I feel like boom bap has really come back strong this year, especially with albums like Book of Ryan and with the J. Cole album, whatnot. Like boom bap has really come back hard. But I think you're going to be like, you know what? Now's
boom
my
bap
time to
even
come back
still
because my
near-
opinions will hold some weight at this particular time. I just think it's the majority of the buying audience of hip hop right now is very young, bubblegum-ish. They haven't hit university yet. So once that mass segment of population goes through university and goes through the woes of being through their early 20s and getting kicked in the ass and be like, I need digestible stuff. Fuck this fast food. Give me some rice, peas, and some chicken. Give me something that is gonna fill me up, not this fast food McDonald's music. You know what I mean? These kids haven't fallen in love yet. They haven't had their hearts broken yet. Everything to them is just drugs, party, drugs. They haven't lived yet. So once they live, they're gonna start realizing we need these guys to give us something, or women, but we need something other than this Chun-Li bullshit and whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what though, too? Like, where's that separation happen? Because like when I was younger, and I'm sure when you guys were younger, when you fell in love with hip hop, you were probably too immature to understand the message. But you almost like caught the ideology of the prophecy. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, yo, like and just a vibe or inspired
I'm
you.
not
with
gonna
thinking,
lie,
but
it comes back it seems like it's a reoccurring number, but for me, 17.
Yeah.
Aquemini was that album for me. I digested Aquemini, and I was like, man, it's on. I looked at that cover, and I was like,
I'll never
this
hear
is some
the word
adult
17 ever again.
Hey.
The same way.
But no.
That's
But
the
like,
reason why I said it, guys.
when the Aquemini album dropped, I looked at that album cover, and I'm like, this is some soul funk stuff that I would have found in my aunt's record crate.
Yeah.
And I loved it, and I put it on.
Yeah.
And by the time Spotty, Dotty, Dope-alicious came on, I was like, this is my favorite song I've ever heard, and they are not even rapping on this. And I went back, and I'd already heard, Southern Playalistic, I heard AT-Aliens, but I went back and took them in even more. So now when I hear Get Up, Get Out, and Get Something, I don't recall ever graduating at all. And I'm about to graduate high school. It meant something to me, right?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's like, okay, this music got some weight. Okay, now they're telling me something. You know what I mean? And that's when I stopped, let's say, caring so much about just the party hip hop or whatever, and started saying, okay, give me some Rakim. Let me, Nas was already my favorite, but it was like, let me take in some more stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let me go back to Reasonable Doubt and some of these other albums, right?
See, and a lot of times too, like when I was growing up, I mean, initially as a little kid in a small town like Brantford, you know what I mean? 90s, I'm the only kid that likes rap anywhere I fucking go. It took me time to really build appreciation for what I really loved about rap. But once I realized the poetry is what I really loved, it was like the only rappers that mattered were dudes who could convey something to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't care about your beats. I don't care about none of that. It's and whether your poetry be in just bars, dudes like your Big L's and your dudes who just it's I've never heard a whack verse by you. And you rap about nothing. Yeah. And you just rap about how sick you are and you still connect with me. You know what I mean? It's just the crazy shit, and it's but then you got dudes who really what you were saying about Andre 3000. They really connect, they represent a point in your life, and you like it at a younger point. You get older and you realize it, you know what I mean? But it's just, I think at the end of the day, what's really missing from hip hop, from all of us, is just poetry. I think that's all it is at the end of the day. It's literally the poetry aspect, because that's what's gone to shit, and that's what I think, and I think that's where the real, fuck any age gap, any of that, I think that's where the real divide happens, is the more that it became pop, and the more that even in the social media era, it wasn't even labels producing pop, it's kids who just want, like you were saying, want to have the hot record, maybe bring some people to a show, just be the man for a minute. You're making the most poppiest shit you can because you have no love for the culture. You have no love for real hip-hop. You have love for... It's almost it's the same thing as social media is almost what hip-hop is becoming. And that's why you have this split niche audience where there's people who are I like hip-hop, and then there's people who listen to rap all day and they're like, man, fuck hip-hop.
I feel they don't...
The other elements are not present. Like the DJs in the back.
That's another thing.
Breakers are not seen no more.
No breakers.
Graffiti's still happening, but it's not.
It's all separated.
Mainstream culture, and therefore people don't even recognize it in the underground. The underground people do, but people outside of the underground don't care about that.
Right.
They don't care about the real hip hop culture.
Well, shout out Scott Jackson, Beatbox Canada. You know what I mean? Those guys definitely throw it down, and I get to DJ a lot of their events, and that to me is some of the biggest representation of hip hop possible. Any one of their parties is just as crazy, and that's an element that doesn't even get discussed enough in itself. It's the beatboxing element, and there's a lot of dope beatboxers.
There's a lot of elements of hip hop.
Oh, for sure. But that being said, though, I got a quick question. When is the film screening? What's the title of the film? When's it screening? What's the information? Where can we actually take this in before? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's going to be the movie is called Another Decaying Crown.
Okay.
And otherwise ADC. That's what we're going with for that. So it's going to be played during the Toronto Independent Film Festival. So,
awesome.
So it'll be Saturday, September 15th at 9 p.m.
This year?
This year, yeah.
Okay. How can we get tickets for it?
We're gonna be posting. So
you'll have links up on your guys' social medias and stuff. Okay, dope.
Yeah,
we should all go check that out.
Yeah, I'll be back from Cuba 3 days before that. So let's do it.
Let's do that.
Absolutely.
I've always wanted to go to TIFF too, so that's two birds with one stone, because your documentary sounds incredible. Sorry, continue.
It's all right, man. It's all right. Yeah. So we've got our website for the movie up there. You can see the trailer. There's a couple trailers, and we also had a screening for it. Website is adcdoc.com, adcdoc.com.
Okay.
And there is, there's a couple trailers as well as a little 1-minute clip from, we had a screening for it, April 9th?
A few months ago.
in April. We had a screening for it in April. You know, just
like a private sort of media screening.
Yeah, so it's already all finished. It's just like the
it's been
behind the
done.
scenes work right now that's under. Okay.
yeah. So now it's all this kind of stuff, and you know where we can get it, and you know we've been submitting to multiple film festivals, and right now this is all we've got, and right now I'm okay with that. So
Are you guys hoping to get it out in like Cannes or is it Cannes or Cons? Like how do you pronounce it?
Can I don't think that you pronounce the S, but
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, I mean, this is the first festival that. Well, look at it like this: we made the movie over the last, I guess,
2.5
2.5
years.
years.
About 2.5 years. I'd say.
We had the private screening in April, and then we started submitting to festivals, and this is the first one in September.
Okay.
Right? So, I mean, you know, wherever it rolls, wherever the momentum goes from here, you know, we can't really predict. But I would say we're just starting.
Yeah, TIFF is huge. So that on your resume for that, you know, for your documentary, that's going to look amazing for you
big.
guys and add, you know, some points. So definitely, man. I'll definitely check it out, man. I'm excited.
But yeah, you can get tickets at the website, adcdoc.com. SepTo.ca, I'll basically just reflect everything
To
that's
that
happening
site.
there, so,
Dope.
yeah.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
it's dope, yo.
Nice. Okay, definitely, man. We're definitely going to check that one out. So that's the 15th, adcdoc.com or .ca? .com. Okay, perfect. So adcdoc.com. Grab those tickets. Proper.
Dope.
Which theater is it? The one right down it is like College and Young?
Yeah, Carlton Cinemas. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's where they're holding all the independent films.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole independent film festival runs from September 6th to the 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
September
closing
6th.
it out.
9 days.
September 6th or September? Yeah, September 6th. Sorry. So, you know, even just to support local artists and international artists, you know, you can go. There's a website for it, Toronto-indie.ca, I believe, and you know you can check out other and go see everybody's movies. There's a bunch of shorts and there's features every night. So.
All right. That sounds dope, but fuck all those other movies. We got to go see this one. That's the only
Yeah.
one
Well,
that
hey,
counts.
because
Right?
ADC hey, the documentary, it focuses on Sep and hip hop and the music industry, but it is a universal pain point for a lot of artists.
no, for sure.
There is,
Yeah,
you
any
know,
artist could
photographers,
relate to that.
filmmakers. You know,
Yeah.
I can only imagine, and I'm not a photographer from the Polaroid days or the developing them in your own dark room. But I bet those people are pissed off that it's so easy to make
7,000 filters.
that people's photos look like that, and you tack on a couple hashtags to it, and you get
Now you're a photographer.
now you're a photographer, right?
Now
So
It's crazy, man. Technology, man.
you know that's
Never owned a camera.
Same with a DJ. You've never touched a piece of
Right.
wax, but you can fucking spin a fucking plastic wheel.
Yeah.
You don't even really spin it; you just sink it.
Yeah. Well, we were kind of talking about that a little bit earlier. You know, I was saying we now live in the industry of independent artists because Spotify and things of these natures. So as we're saying, the bar is going to get somewhat lowered, but I do predict in the next couple of years we are going to have a Nirvana, Wu-Tang type group come out because it's now able to be done, you know, in a garage and able to be done with quality if you know what you're
You
doing.
can
and put a
capture
little
the
bit of heart into it.
authenticity to it even more.
Kind of, you know what I'm saying? So right now, I would say that the market's not ripe for it, but you give it 1-2 more years of this mega just...
You think that we've been splashed with new technology and we're going to adapt? And somehow the art's still going to rise to the top.
No, what I think is that someone's going to be, you know, they're going to sit there and fuck around in the garage, and people are going to realize, hey, I'm so sick of being, you know, force fed all this stuff, like the hair rock era. You know what I mean? Right after the hair
Disco
rock and
era.
Guns N' Roses came Nirvana. You know what I mean? Because the youth became a little bit more disenfranchised. We're going to go through an era politically where youth are going to become disenfranchised, and they're going to
Hopefully.
want
Yeah,
an
they're gonna react to
appropriate
their environment.
soundtrack.
If they don't divide and conquer every individual before then yeah.
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 But it's at a point right now where so many different ideas are being influenced by so many different points of view and perspectives, where it's like almost like it's hard for like, you know what I mean, for a movement like that to even be so popular anymore
Through the
because
saturation.
through the saturation of everything, you like, you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. I do agree that it is
And
hard.
the reach of influence.
It is hard, but not impossible. But at the same time, because again, you don't need per se somebody to invest $1 million into you doing it. Someone's gonna fuck around and get it done. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen completely by mistake, and it's gonna be like, wow, this is revolutionary. But it's gonna be done because it doesn't take the management to do it anymore. You know, it can be done just boom at home, and that's what people are gonna want. They're gonna want that authenticity.
And do you know what almost hurts to say too? Because like hip hop is my life, and I'm almost excited just for whatever's next. Like I'm almost just excited to see what this new music genre is, because you know hip hop is so influential, it will play an influence in it. So hopefully, you know, just like, you know, rock and roll is created from blues and was, you know, like people took great elements of other music and created something new. They never take the shitty elements unless you like pop always exploits everything, right? But you never take the shitty elements of a genre that influenced you to create a new genre. You know what I mean? You take the great ideologies of it and then you build on from it. So I'm really hoping when this trap shit that we're listening to right now, all this, no disrespect, everyone get your money, do your thing. I hope that's not the evolution. I think there's something new that's gonna come. Something that and it all comes. So it's like,
You know, some trap shit is dope too.
no,
Like,
I
at the
agree.
end, I like the idea of cyclical, and I understand the theory, but we have to also come to the conclusion that there's evolution as well.
Yeah.
So some things won't come back around.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't see dubstep
And like,
back around.
so it's one of those things where
But
now
dubstep like reminds me of like everybody dance now. It's like the same thing like 20 years later, you know what I mean? Just a different version. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, so I just feel like we're gonna end up somewhere different because everything is different. The environment's different.
Yeah.
I was just having a conversation with one of my colleagues, and he's like 21, right? So that's like a 10-year difference between me and him.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, okay, who do you listen to? What do you listen to? Who do you like? And he couldn't tell me. He told me that he just finds a playlist and hits play. He doesn't know who 80% of them are.
Wow.
And when something sounds good, maybe he'll look a little more into it, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't fallen into that yet, right? This whole playlist streaming era. But I was talking to him about how, you know, I like artists.
Yeah.
So if an artist proves themselves to be consistently good, I just look forward to their next project.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was confused.
Yeah.
Like he was like, nah, you know, I don't follow anyone. I just, you know, whatever Spotify says is the most popular playlist, I hit play and go for it. So it's like we're already leaving an era of like this feeling of this momentum toward his next project. I'm waiting, I'm excited.
music.
I can't wait.
Musicians don't even
Right?
exist anymore. It's just like
It's a playlist.
it's like the fucking television in your background when you're a kid, and you couldn't really
So
choose
he's
what
not
you wanted to
even
watch. You had like
attaching
10
himself.
channels. You're like, well, I don't really like Third Rock from the Sun, but I'm gonna watch it because it's
There's
the best
no
thing
emotional
on.
attachment to the artist, to the
that's
genre, nothing.
crazy.
And that is the direction.
That's crazy.
I'll do you one even better because I love streaming, you know, and I'll sit there and listen to albums.
I make my own playlist.
No, I do, and you know, if I
I
find an
stream
artist,
a lot, by the way. I just don't do the playlist.
But,
Yeah,
but
I make
I'll
my
do
own.
you one even better though. This is how crazy, and I'm sure you guys might agree with me. If you don't, you might be like, Dustin's fucking crazy. But when you watch adult videos, porno online, and instead of, you know, settling with like one video where back in the day it would take a squiggly line, you know what I'm saying, or it would take a magazine. Now you find yourself sitting there for like 20, 30, an hour, you know, looking at multiple
you're picky
videos.
as shit.
Right.
You're like, LimeWire me would have been happy fucking 10 pages ago, but 2008 me, yo, I ain't getting off on this shit.
Exactly. So we have like
50
so
pages
many.
deep.
It boils down to what you're saying. It boils down to so many options, saturation, and just so much selection at our hands. And it's like the internet.
Let me see that bukkake.
Wow. I haven't seen a Bukkake video yet.
I don't want to see that at all.
I haven't seen one yet.
But the point is, instead of, you know what I'm saying, instead of the internet kind of opening our minds to the possibilities of the knowledge that's out there, we find ourselves just kind of fixating on a very small selection of what we like, and just kind of like, you know what I mean, searching for just that little segment of it and just settling with, you know, the singles or whatever, instead of really going deep and saying, okay, you know, what can I find today? What artists can I explore today that I've never heard of? And let me see their whole catalog. Just like, nah, I'm just going to
have the time.
whatever's given to me, whatever's hot in the
It's
hot.
accessibility, man. It's not even about not having the time, because kids nowadays, in my opinion, they've had more time than we had. We used to play outside and shit. You know, what I mean? You have to like come home and like spend time to get into art and music and shit. Like,
my
it took
7-year-old
time. It wasn't
nephew
just
doesn't
like,
even know how to ride his bike yet.
to me, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So it's not even about time. It's just about convenience. Is literally what it is. We're raising
there's so much music
generations
out there,
of
that's the
late.
thing.
But at the end of the day, it all just comes to laziness, man, and convenience. Like humans are the weight they are nowadays in Western America and looking the way they are because we've conditioned ourselves. We're lazy. You know what I mean? It's just very simple basics.
All the music out there,
But it's the same. It's going all the way up the
whether
line.
you're younger now, or have the time to do it or not. Why would you spend so much time to do that work just to do it?
You're absolutely right.
It comes down to, do you love music or not? If you love music,
Exactly.
you're gonna spend that time.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're not gonna spend that time.
That's facts.
The same conversation I was having with the colleague. I said, "Yo, am I getting old? Is that what it is? Why I don't look for people anymore?"
Yeah.
And to be honest, he told me, I don't look for people either. There's too much. That's why people need these playlists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's too much to surf
There's too
through.
much to look through. Like,
And at least back in the day, as much as there were key holders and shit, you had somebody almost like pushing you an idea of, which is the same as the playlist, except it's
the
so
key holders.
watered down. It's everywhere, right? Like there is no full key holder, like because even like some independent dude can like make it, you know what I mean? Like it's just so saturated. That's where back in the day, like the dudes who made it on TV were like your cue point to start, and then you go back.
didn't we
and
like
then
look
you're,
forward to like 11 albums a
Yeah.
year? You know what I mean? Like we're like, okay, Redman's dropping in, Meth is dropping in, Bus is dropping in. Like I swear there was like 11 people.
Yeah, you had like
You know
a
what I'm
year
saying?
planned
You were
out.
hot
Each
one.
month you're like, all right, this guy
That
drops. this guy-
left us the room to be excited and emotionally attached.
And then you're
to these
waiting for the
artists.
next shit to drop, so you're taking in that shit.
Yeah.
You're not just giving it a stream for a couple days, and you're like, oh, that was cool. All right, on to the next. Like almost like what I was saying, in my opinion, of Drake's album earlier, but exactly that same sentiment. Like, you know, played it for a few days. I'm like, this is cool, but I got other shit that'll stimulate me more, right?
Good album should last you at least 6 months.
Exactly. But back in the days, do you think that also plays an effect? Like, do you think maybe that, as much as I hate to say this because I love 90s hip hop is my shit, but do you think maybe we let at some point mediocre shit pass because it was all that we had?
Nowadays or back then?
Even back then, like, do you
I
think
think there
there's
was
some
more
shit
good
you go
stuff,
back
though.
and you're like,
There's a lot
do
more
you
good
think
stuff.
sometimes you overlove something from the past so much, and then when you really break it down to bare
Yes.
bones, you're like,
The early
You're like-
2000s of hip hop were shit.
yeah, you're like, and this is
Trash.
This is all there
thought it was
was.
trash when
This
I
is
was
all
in
there.
it.
Yeah, I agree.
There was
Right?
some
We're
good
actually
stuff.
in a golden age right now. Hip hop is actually sounding pretty fantastic right now.
Yeah.
Right? Whether we want to say the live and breathe hip hop culture feeling of what hip hop
No,
is
that's
exists, that's something else. But if you just want to talk about a song,
Yeah.
hip hop is doing great. It's doing way better now than it was in 2002. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
And you know what? I agree. And when people criticize a lot of the hip hop artists of today, I try to say to them, well, what was given to them from the people who came before them?
That was my
You know what I'm
thing.
saying? Like, what did we do for them? What were the role models? You know? So
And you know when we were talking earlier, and I said I considered Still Tipping a turning point.
yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I remember seeing that shift in hip hop, and that's where I literally draw the line of where I felt it really heavily switched. And that's when I seen that line, and like, I fucked with Still Tipping, you know what I mean? But I'm like, this is a subpar rap song.
My
but it
favorite
goes.
rappers of all time
And then
dropped their
that
worst
culture.
albums in early 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like Busta Rhymes is in my top 5.
Yeah, with some of his
Worst
worst.
albums are early 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
I think It Ain't Safe No More
Method
is dope.
Man, Red.
His first 3-4 albums, dope.
Yeah.
Busta had
But
a
It
run.
Ain't Safe No
It Ain't
More was
Safe
still
No More.
dope.
It was
With the Dilla joints on
But
that
I'm
shit,
saying
too.
The Coming, Disaster Strikes, Extinction Level Event,
Yeah,
Anarchy,
yeah.
and then
And then
it, baby,
there's a
if you
dip.
give it to me,
right.
I'll give it to you. You know what I want.
I just feel like everybody, all our favorite rappers were.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was an industry thing, just the state.
Even
of,
fucking
Yeah,
Mob
J.
Deep.
Rollins
What
was
was
the
that?
environment.
What was that Mob Deep
I think it was-
joint? Hey Love.
Yeah, I hate
Hey,
when
that's
that
a
came
fun
out.
track.
Yo, you know what? I liked it back in the day, but it's the exact point. Like,
Yeah.
you know
Like,
what I
Who
mean?
was running
Murder-
shit in the early 2000s?
Well, no.
Yeah.
But what it
Nelly?
is, though, what it is, you know, you're saying environment, but what it is a lot of those guys were the same age. A lot of those guys were in their early 20s, in the mid to, you know, late 90s. All of a sudden, now they're 30-something in the year 2000, but they're all millionaires. So imagine being 30, you're a millionaire now. You got everything you want. You
Turned to
don't
a job.
Exactly. It turned to a job, but it turned to a job. They didn't have the same anxieties, the same pressures to make the music, and you know.
The reason why I
same
think it's environment is because
It's absolutely
those same
environment.
rappers in the early 2000s who maybe fell into that low, they went on to make great albums later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what I'm
most
saying?
of them, yeah.
So I like people are talking about the new bus that's coming. It's supposed to be crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm a big fan of the Roots. They have 1 million albums.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh.
And their worst album is fantastic, but I'll probably look to the early 2000s if you're gonna ask me my least favorite.
Yeah.
And then they went on to drop more classics, right?
Chronology,
So I feel
or-
like it's just like you were saying, I guess, about the cyclical thing. You know, things are gonna constantly be changing in the
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
And at that time, things were, I think, at an all-time low on the industry level.
Also, I think technology was changing too, because
Yeah.
Pro Tools was now becoming big, right? So the way they're making the music, they're not, you know, chopping it up on the MPCs. They're not using the same samples. We're kind of getting into the computer era.
And the whole
and then-
Fruity Loops era. too.
Exactly, but you
That
see the
changed it a lot.
progression. Ninth Wonder was one of the guys who really mastered Fruity Loops, and you see
Yeah.
how he was able to kind of change the sound, and
Yeah.
you know what a group like Little Brother was able to do, and from that we get a Drake and whatnot. You know what I mean? So as much as the early 2000s, it did have that shit. It's age, environment, technological changes. I think we're going through that right now as well.
regional
Age,
ones.
environment, technological changes. And
That's when the Dirty South really took over,
yeah,
and that changed the whole environment of music.
yep. Absolutely. But they've been, they took over as much for that, but because they were hustlers. They got a hustle mentality.
Yeah.
They understood the worth of being independent.
Yeah,
What
that's true.
fuck, like we're saying, still tipping, but that was the peak. Before that, they were all making money hand over fist as
Yeah.
independent artists in Houston. And when they got bought up, I believe, by Warner,
Yeah.
that's when a lot of those guys, they put out one album, they faded into obscurity.
And that's where I've really seen the turning point just as a fan of hip hop. That's where I really like that. That's what I refer to.
cutoff?
That was the tip of the iceberg where everything started to degress since then.
Yeah.
Because even at that point, I think a lot of whack records still had dope elements to them.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? Like a whack song might have a dope beat but I really think there was a digress there where just things like lyrically fell apart after that. And then soon enough, the sound started changing. And maybe that's why the degress happened, because it was
Right.
evolution at the same time as de-evolution in a lyrical sense. Maybe there's, but either way, that's where I really seen the transformation happen in hip hop. That's what I refer like the tip of the iceberg is. Still tipping. And I love that record. Like, I goes. I still bang that to this day. You know what I mean? I think the lyrics are very subpar at best, but, it's a jam. You know what I mean? But
It's
that's
a
where
car
that
ride,
really,
but
that turning point went.
It's, as Sept was saying, it has to do with, culture. You know what I mean? Like, if you
and as
were from
people
Houston,
change, culture changes.
For sure, but if we were from Texas, for example, specifically that part of Houston, we would understand that it was about your cars, it was about
And
your
you would
rim,
think it was sick
about
that you were
going
similar
real
to an ant.
slow, and you know what I
Because
mean?
you're laying low to the earth.
Exactly. Or you got a
Yeah,
GameCube
that's
Nintendo in
sick.
your trunk and stuff. But that's their environment. That's their culture. Whereas up north, you can't really have a car like that because we got shitty winter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Like put all that money into a car? Come October, you got to park that, or you're gonna absolutely
And then
ruin
driving
that
on
thing,
a
right?
bicycle. Wintertime bicycles for the summertime vet.
Just quoting the lyrics. But yeah, no, that's what it is. It's a cultural thing, you know what I mean? Cars up here, like, same thing with the West Coast, and just the music suits that area. The West Coast is very, very funk influenced, very Parliament influenced.
Yeah.
Because the weather dictates that, They
Yeah,
can-
vibe, 100%.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's why I think New
it's-
York always made the best, like, gutter kind of soul, boom bap hip hop.
But we can
'Cause
associate
every
with
time
that.
you listen, even just to a lot of the real dope producers, the beats, like, you can almost just envision walking through that alley with the sewer smoking
sure.
and the fucking, just a couple lights there, and there you can hardly even see the dude's silhouette standing up
For
the
sure.
alley who's scared he might jukes you or take you for, like, you get that feeling just in the music and the lit, like, it all represents that, you
Yeah.
know, and that's what I think maybe makes, like, why hip-hop heads, a lot of us have the sentiment where, like, New York is the golden era, and like that's like the, you know, like it's the birthplace. But I think that's, you know, it's all what you connect with. If you connect with party shit, you could give a fuck less about how dope a large finesse production on a Big Al album is, or you know, like, and like that vibe it gives you. You could give a shit less.
No,
you know
I
what I
feel
mean?
you,
It's
I feel
all
you.
what you connect with. So I think it's actually kind of cool what you said about like, but I think that's the thing missing from hip hop now. It doesn't represent where it came from.
Well, because
It's
it
all
becomes so
trend
trendy.
riding.
Exactly. So if this guy from Houston does something and this guy from New York hears it, he's going to try to do it. Or if this guy in Toronto does something, you know, someone in Atlanta might try to do it,
Yeah.
right? You have certain cities that dictate pretty much what goes on in the culture, and everyone else is just trying to ride
Ride
what
it.
those cities are doing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Instead of saying, fuck it, I'm going to rep for my community. I'm going to talk about what's going on my block. And that's what I'm saying, where someone's going to fuck around in Nirvana and Wu-Tang game, because
Yeah.
someone's going to come back and say, yo, this is what's going on the Danforth. This is what's going on Manhattan, whatever.
There's a
and
lot
people
of
are going to be
people
like, oh,
looking for
God
something.
damn. Exactly.
There's a lot of us who are falling out of love with this music
disenfranchisement.
more and more
Yeah,
by
for
the
sure.
day,
Yeah,
and we're just waiting for
it
something.
might
to
be a
grab
whole
us.
new genre, like you were saying earlier. Somebody might create a new genre where all of a sudden the 30, 40, 50-year-olds are like, hey, this is a little bit more suited to
Yeah.
where I'm at in my life. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
even going to lie. Have you guys heard the new Young Buck track that came out like a month ago?
No, but I just heard his new interview with Breakfast. Like, I know it's like a month
Yeah.
old, but I finally just listened
Well,
last night. It was like, yo, it was dope. Like, Dre's executive producing the album with 50. So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting, firstly.
dope.
But it's just cool, like, you know, at least he'll have some good ears on the
Yeah.
final polish. Because Buck's always been ill, man. I always thought, like, I personally always thought Banks, Punchline, was the illest, but I thought,
Oh,
like, Buck was
Buck's
kind of the
hard was
illest in the group, like, because he depicted stories
Yeah.
as well. Like, he was more than just, like, punchlines, but his punchlines are ill as.
Yeah, well, he put out this track, and to me, it just sounded like a modern day, almost like blues track, almost. You
Oh,
know what I
word.
mean? Like it just had that type of vibe. Like it didn't have the guitar riffs and whatnot, but it just had this vibe where it's like, that's pain music. That's grown man
Yeah.
pain music. Same thing again. The Book of Ryan. There's a song on there called Cocaine.
Cocaine, that's
yeah,
what
that's
that's
right.
one of my joints. Of
You
the
know
year,
what I'm saying?
hands
That's
down.
just, you know, and shout out to my boy Specs, for example. Like Specs
Yeah.
got a few tracks on his albums where, you know, he's working on right now where it's like, God damn, homie, this is grown man music.
Yeah.
You're saying something, you're putting your soul into it. So, you know, I do
Vulnerability.
believe- exactly.
See, ever since
Vulnerability is
Prime
coming
1
into
too,
it.
and this is kind of just a side subject of, but what exactly what you're talking about, but Royce specifically. I always liked Royce. Royce to me became he became a GOAT and not
Yeah.
just a dope rapper. First Prime album.
I feel
That's
you.
where the real vulnerability came into play. Where he's first sober and he started to reflect on his shit. Like that album's full of vulnerability. Personally, wasn't a huge fan of Prime 2 as much as it hurts because Royce is like in my top
Yeah.
list, and Primo's my favorite producer of all time.
Yeah.
So it hurts me to say it, but Prime 2 to me just didn't
hold up to your expectations.
hold up because it didn't have that level to it.
Yeah.
It was just Royce trying to like almost recreate Boom over like
Yeah.
15 tracks, and then there are a couple slow joints where like, you know, like overall, you know, I thought it was pretty dope. Like, you know, I probably have 10, 11 songs I like on the album and
Right,
more.
right.
Like I'll listen to it all the way through. Like I don't think anything's whack, but there's like very few songs on it that are like stand out, like
Yeah.
punch you in your face. You know, I mean, Cocaine's one of those joints. He didn't even rap on the shit.
Yeah, no, Cocaine was a dope track.
But that's what goes back to, sorry, not to like cut you what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying, but just to the point of what I was saying earlier about vulnerability
Yeah,
and how
vulnerability.
important it is.
Yeah, you're saying your favorite Royce is like sober post-therapy Royce.
Yeah, well, like once
Tabernacle.
it became more in your music about
Yeah.
your dick size and how sick you were on the mic,
yeah.
because I
Right.
love that shit. I love just like stunting on
Yeah.
the mic. Like I'm, you know, at the end of the day, battle MCs, like that's what catches my ear. Jay-Z I didn't like until I heard Threat.
Right.
Then I had to go back and peep the catalog. So I'm like, I've been sleeping
Yeah.
because I always just seen, you know, I knew the main joints and I'm like, nothing special.
Yeah, yeah.
Heard Threat and I'm like, dude can rap. All right, now what have I been missing?
Yeah.
And one of my
Go
favorite
back in
MCs
his
of all
old
time.
catalog.
You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
like, so I'm that kind of dude, but there's something about a vulnerability, I think, in an artist that just connects you deeper than even what you respect most about.
No, absolutely. And Royce has
being
that track on his
a
last
rapper.
album too, where he's talking about the day his son is born, the
Yeah.
day his grandma died,
Tabernacle?
and he met Tabernacle.
That
right?
was my
One
favorite
day.
joint on his last shit.
One day, right? And that's just the craziest shit in
Yeah.
the world to me. But to segue out from that, you know, because that's a great track. To me, what Royce is trying to show and what I want to talk about, you know, maybe to close things off is mind projection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Projecting what you want to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you're kind of transitioning out as you want to accomplish something else. But, you know, I feel like people don't utilize this enough, which is,
Yeah.
you know, the ability to really say, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to do this with my life and go out there and accomplish this. You know what I'm saying? Alchemy. turning lead to gold.
Yeah.
You know
I'm
what
a
I mean?
very firm believer in the power of mind, but at the same time, too, another side thought is, and that's why I don't think I have that full, I've never had that full kick to like give it all up. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna do this.
Right.
Because there's always been that backslide of doubt, and as the internet grows, it's like how many other people have that mentality? There's only room for so much in an oversaturated market. You know what I mean? So even if like that mind state, like telling yourself you're the best every day, like Kanye got you to where you could be in that position of time when there was these obstacles and shit. Nowadays, if like all those mediocre ass rappers you hear, and you're just like, no disrespect to anyone doing this shit, like cool, but like just from someone who really respects the poetry, it's like, you're like, anyone could write that.
But I'm not
anyone
even
could
really-
write that, and everyone thinks they're the dopest. You know what I mean? So like that's why I think in nowadays industry too, you get a lot of cats because I think that power of mind that you're talking about is very strong. But I think unfortunately what happens is a lot of times the most artistic artists and the most powerful mentally and lyrically don't have that drive, as to where some idiot is easy to gas himself up with that drive, and that's how you get an industry foot. You know what I mean? So even though power of mind and thought is so powerful, it's almost too powerful.
But I'm not even
if
just
the
talking
wrong
about the
person
industry,
used to say that.
But I'm not even really talking about just the industry, though. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is just in life in general. You know what I mean? Like, what you're going through, like in life in general. You know, like you want to, for example, let's say you're single and you want to be engaged by a particular time. I was reading this book and saying, what you do is you sleep in a particular portion of your bed. You make sure you have two toothbrushes in your house. You start doing things as if you already have that partner in your life. And what happens is the universe starts kind of correlating to make sure those things happen. Not just one particular thing.
And the other big thing about power thought too is though you have to be wise enough to realize what opportunities are.
Right, because you might
sometimes
get
it's something as
and-
simple as talking to the person on the corner of the street.
Exactly, and taking opportunities, taking chances.
When
and
that
whatnot.
gut tell gives you that feeling, you got to follow it.
Right. No, but I just feel that, you know what I mean, we don't utilize that enough. And it's not just necessarily in the music industry. It applies to everything
that's all
that
around the globe.
we're doing in life. And, if people started
that's
using it, we get a lot further in life.
And really what you're saying too is like that's like a segue to a whole new episode, because that all goes on then we can start talking about energy. We can start talking about you can start talking about everything. You know what I mean?
Chakras.
All these things, but they all correlate, right? So I think I agree with you very much. But we got like a little less than 10 minutes left on the podcast. So let's keep it. We can't start digging into that. That goes to the talk
I just
about
wanted
list.
to end it off on a positive note.
I dig it. You know what I mean? That's the truth right there. But there's a lot of that. That's just such a stem off. So we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
I'll say one thing to that. I remember I was at a family gathering, and one of the elders of the family wanted to play, I guess, a mental exercise game. So they asked everyone in the circle, if you could have your own store, what would it be, right? So you got, 70-year-olds telling you what their store would be. My mom said what her store would be, aunties, cousins, whatever. And it came around to me, and for some reason I was so irritated by the conversation. I didn't feel connected to it. So I just said, I don't know. I don't know what store I'd have.
Yeah.
And I remember the response of this person. She mentioned that I don't dream, or I'm not creative, or I'm not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And her response kind of triggered something, because I realized that none of those things are true. I am creative.
Yeah.
I am a free thinker. I am all these. And I realized, I don't know what store I would have, because I'm doing everything that I would want to do, right?
Yeah.
Like my store is SepTo.ca.
Yeah, you don't.
You know
need
what
a
I'm
store
saying?
Where
So,
you're
like,
doing what you love.
I realize in that moment, a lot of people like to dream, right? They like to imagine and talk big things. Yeah, how many meetings you guys have with people that, an hour will go by and nothing substantial actually.
Absolutely.
You don't even know what to do tomorrow, because I don't know what the fuck we were talking about other than big things for the last hour, right? So it's sort of like, to your power of the mind thing, I think it's as simple as just do it.
Yes.
Just do what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. So
Just
the power
do
of the mind is just belief in yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I choose to make a film, if I choose to make an album, if I choose to write a book, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that step 1 is choosing and step 2 is doing. For some reason, everyone gets to 1.5 and they don't get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it's a lot simpler than we make it seem.
Well, it is. And I think that's a handed down mind state through society too, though. Like, I think it's a way of thinking. I don't think we all just grow up thinking we're helpless, but maybe it could be the same thing like what I was saying before. We're too bored. We're too much, you know what I mean? Like, and with being bored your whole life, when you find something you love, it's almost hard to re-kick yourself into gear and give yourself that drive and be like, yo, I'm going to do this.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that sounds cool.
But you kind of have to, because I feel like there's so many people out there who kind of don't, and because they don't, they feel
go
their
back
life
and
is
regret
going they go back to regret it, or they feel like, oh, I'm unsuccessful, or I'm a failure,
Well,
and it's like, nah, man,
see-
you're not a failure at all. You just have to kind of have that passion, and like
Yeah.
Sep was saying, you just gotta just fucking
Do it.
Stop
that's
talking about
exactly
it, just
to the
do
point as well too, is that exactly like to just do it, because that's what I think a lot of other people is. I think people in society feel way too fucking vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're like not like vulnerable in the good way where you're cool to be yourself, but like you're scared to be yourself. You don't let anybody in. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I don't want to look like a fool. I don't want to do this. Oh, what if my album doesn't sell? What if this doesn't happen?
Right.
Like, that's why I think certain artists like 50 don't put out albums no more. Even that's one of his insecurities. Like, I can't top Get Rich or Die Trying. He said that in interviews. But everybody has that, you know what I mean? So a lot of people, I think, don't follow their dreams because they're scared to be rejected. The same way a dude who could have dated every 8 crushes in his life ends up marrying some girl he's not even in love with at 30 because he was too scared to ask them out. He was too scared of rejection.
Well, think
and
about
I think
this.
That's big in our society, is insecurity.
Absolutely, but think about this. Babe Ruth used to be known for having the most home runs of all time, right?
Yeah.
But did you also know that Babe Ruth had the most strikeouts of all time?
Hey,
Right?
Michael Jordan, you'll miss every 100 shots you don't take.
Exactly. So that's what people should take away from this episode more than anything. You know what I'm saying? It's the maturation of this man right here.
Yeah.
Seems like
I don't
he's
know how
coming
we
into his
started
own.
with
But,
pedophilia and ended
and
with
ended
something
with
so
because
real.
We got to end on a positive note.
That's Toronto Talks right there. Man. You know what I mean? It's all about progressive conversation, whether it be controversial or not.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I think that's what this episode is about, the maturation of, this man right here. And like you said, just fucking do it. Any dream you got, just do it, because you could talk about it till you're blue in the face, and unless you do it, like you said, you're going to get old one day and you're going to regret not even trying.
Shit, I'm telling you, Louise, I should have just fucking made that damn demo. I would have had a flex bomb. You don't know what that is. You're only 30.
Nice, man. So we got about like 2-3 more minutes here before we wrap it up. So, give us the information again on the film, abcdoc.com, and when it's gonna air again, or when it's gonna be screened, Tiff, and all the beautiful information.
So we have a movie. It's called Another Decaying Crown. You could go to adcdoc.com for pretty much everything. Right now, if you go there, you're going to find information about the trailer, where it's going to be playing, when, where to get your tickets, which is...
Well, not yet. I'll put that up there.
Yeah. So I mean, now is in, this era. But this era of the film. So it's like, it will be on the 15th at 9 p.m. at Carlton Cinema. You can get a $10 ticket. However, continue to go to the site because we will continue to update it in future eras, meaning next month, as we get more information about what this film is doing and where it will be. So follow along, adcdoc.com.
Dope.
All right. And do you guys want to give out your social medias, all that stuff too?
Sure. Yeah.
Anything that you might want people to follow you on,
Yeah, you could. I got a couple accounts. My personal one, where you'll find all the ADC stuff, is Alexander James Heward. I don't know. You guys got show notes? You could put that shit in or something or whatever. I don't know, but
We'll get it in there.
Yeah, there's that, or the Alex Heward Project is the other one. Heward, Huard. That's about it for me.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter is Mind of SepTo. But to be honest, if you go to septo.ca and hit contact, you'll find wherever you need to
That's
find
the
it.
store right there.
Yeah.
That's the store.
Dope. That's what's up, my brother. Congratulations and thank you for coming through.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Big up, man.
Trying to hold the live down while I do this.
Mike, what you got going on before next week? You got anything going on?
I don't even know at this moment.
You're not eating any more edibles, though?
Oh, fuck, man.
So what was the
Okay, you
story
got-
with that? Can you crack us that in like
No, let's
keep
2
that-
minutes?
The short, there was an event called the 420 Pop-Up. I had some caramel, what's it called again? Caramel, whatever. Some
You fucked up.
lemon juice and some other weed drink. Little shots of it. I didn't want to DJ anymore. I wanted to retire. I didn't want to DJ at all anymore. I
should've
said I'm
rolled
fucking
through.
up so much. I'm not doing this no more. Told the girl, okay, I gotta go. Don't pay me. I'm going home.
Oh, man.
That's true weed panic.
Yeah. And I was getting paranoid. I was hearing
Oh,
things that
yo.
people were
Don't
saying.
pay me.
Don't pay me. I'm out.
So what you're saying is we can't do the edible episode because I was planning on hooking that one up.
We
Yo.
can do that though.
I'll do it too, but I'm telling you, edibles fuck me up like that too, man. One night, the only time I ever had a panic
All right,
attack was
let
after
me
eating
let me get
edibles.
this in real quick, man. I got a show Friday night, Rock Pile, open up for, DJ Ace, judging, trying to win a trip to NYC. And shout out my brethren, Chief Rocker. We're doing his Scarborough Nights album release party. We're doing that. Oh shoot, I thought that was this Saturday. Okay, I think we changed the day up. So I'll shout that out next week then. But yeah, Rock Pile.
Word
Toronto
up.
Talks.
And with the last 40 seconds, I just want to let you know what I'm doing, which is absolutely nothing but watching R. Kelly or listening to R. Kelly's I Admit It.
Watch R. Kelly.
Yeah, it's about a 19-minute song. Yo, pause.
Back to the
But
pedophilia.
it's about I had to bring it in full circle, right? We're talking about cycles here. I'm
Yeah,
just
baby.
be listening to I Admit It for the next week, and then once we get back up on here, I'll break you down my real dissection of it, because I feel like I'll be one with that song by that point.
All right, we'll talk about it next week, baby. All right, Toronto Talks. You already know what it is, man. We had a blast. Shout out to our guests who came through. Hit us up, hit them up, buy those tickets, and definitely get out to that screening September 15th.
Hey.
That's what's up, Toronto Talks. You know what it is. We ain't unapologetically black. We ain't unapologetically white. We just unapologetically us. One love, baby. Max FM. We love y'all.
Peace.